So, you want to be an entrepreneur, huh? You want to taste the freedom of being your own boss. You want to determine what you do, when you do it, how you do it, and who you do it with. You don't want to answer to anybody. You think you got what it takes? Well, let's compare the pros and cons. So, I've kind of written out a little list here, and I've got my notes right in front of me too. So, I kind of want to go through what I think are the pros and the cons of, running my own ship, being the captain of my success, being the captain of my game here, and just kind of speak about, how it's been for me, my past experience so far, the experiences that I had before the one that actually kind of took off and allowed me to do all of these things that I can do now. So let's just get into it. But I want to talk about the pros first. I think that the benefits, I think that the pros outweigh the cons. But that's only for me. You kind of have to weigh it for yourself. So here have been the pros for me. And you can kind of take it with what you want, and you can make it of what you want, and you can decide. But this channel is for people who are thinking about, possibly moving into entrepreneurship, or it's for people who, work in sales and are debating on if they want to go into entrepreneurship. So it's either for, it's for young folks who want to possibly take that leap before life gets serious, because that's what it was for me. We bought this house. We were debating having a family. I was talking about getting married, and I was like, if I don't take the leap now and just drop everything else and just completely focus and go all in on it, I'm never going to do it. I'm just going to end up working in sales for somebody else for a long, long time. And I figured if I was going to work hard regardless, I might as well do it for me. So I want to talk about the pros first. Number one, no boss. I have always had a very big problem with authority in my life. I used to get in a lot of trouble in high school. It actually started somewhere around like middle school, high school age, where I started, I wouldn't call myself rebellious, but I definitely was like, who are these people and why are they telling me what to do? And why do I think that they know better than me, or why do they think that they know better than me? Like, I don't care that you're older than I am. That doesn't mean that you're where I want to end up in life. And did I know it at the time where I wanted to end up? No. But I knew that those people weren't it. I knew that I didn't want to end up as school teachers or principals or assistant principals or anything like that. So I always had like weird questions like, when am I going to use this in life? Because I knew that I wasn't going to become an architect or an engineer or anything like that. So moving into working life, when I had a boss that I had to report to, I had to give him my results, my outputs, and everything like that. Cool. I gotta answer this email right quick. He's adding another load. I need a total of 3 to pick up today, and all 3 will deliver on Monday. 3 total, all delivering on Monday. I am on it, and will keep you updated. Boom. Just got some more business for today. But to get back to the point, I've always had a giant problem with authority. So when I was in my working life as a later adult, and I had to sit there and like explain my weekly, what I did, my inputs, and what I got from it as a result, and all of this, I was like, dude, F off, dude. I don't need a babysitter. I'm an adult. And that's just kind of how I always felt about it. It always made me incredibly angry that somebody else thought that I needed a babysitter, and that they had to micromanage me. I was like, just leave me alone. Let me do my own thing, and we will have no problems here. I'll work harder than anybody else. I'll bring you better results than anybody else, but don't micromanage me. And I used to get in fights with my bosses. I was a good employee because I brought results to the table. I'm a happy person. I'm a pretty contagiously happy person when you're around me. So I never really had a problem there. The problem was always me and this like authoritative figure that was like telling me what I could do, what I can't do, when I had to be in the office, or that I had to sit down. Like, I'm in the office before everybody else, but I can't leave before everybody when I get my work done. You know what I mean? So that was one of the things that kind of like it pissed me off. And it leads into one of my next points, which is you can pick and choose when, where, how you want to do your job, and who you get to do it with when you're an entrepreneur. So obviously right now I work from home. I don't really have too many choices right now. I tried looking for office space. It's expensive as hell, and for me to just do the same thing, like I would have to either put my dogs in daycare, which would cost me more money. So it would cost me additional money to rent the office, and it would cost me money to put my dogs in daycare. And then I would probably also have to like pack a lunch instead of being able to just make it. So you can rent office space and choose to do it there. As of right now, in the stage that my business is at, when we have 2 people and we both work remote from our houses, it just didn't make sense. But I get to choose where to work from, so I can go and go to a coffee shop if I want to. Like, I have the autonomy to do such a thing. I can work from on my deck and make my calls and do all this because I have a laptop and my job is done from a phone and a laptop. I can go travel and meet my customers at any point in time that I want to. I can go meet my vendors at any point in time that I want to. So I can choose when, where, and how to do my job. I wake up early, obviously. I love working. I get a lot of purpose out of working, so I choose to work always. So I love working, so I choose to do it basically all the time, as much as my mind will let me. And then if I ever feel like burnout or something like this, I'll take a break. But it's not that often. And also, when you own it, you can just choose to take a break regardless. And when I do, I do something like this. I make a YouTube video where I can kind of have a little bit of creativity, make a script or whatever for the video. This is my notes over here. This is what I'm pointing to. But no one can also tell me, so they can't tell me when. Because I work when my customers are working, and I work after them. I am obsessed with this industry. I'm constantly reading news articles. I'm constantly reading anything on the economy as a whole. And I don't know if you know this, but the freight industry, the logistics industry is a direct, you see it and feel it before basically anybody else. Because the economy determines how many items are moving, and all the items that get from point A to point B, they got to move on a truck or they got to move somehow. So the logistics industry is literally like the heartbeat of the total economy, because all manufacturing still has to move, all construction materials still have to move, everything has to move, all retail products that are on the store and on the shops, in the stores, they still have to move. And then lastly, no one can tell you how to do it. So no one sets your processes for you. You make them up as you go, and that can be hard, and it can be great. And all of these things can be pros or cons. I think everything is a little bit of both. This is just, I consider these pros because I like to determine how I do things, when I do things, where I do things, and who I do it with. And I got to choose my employee. There's no corporate hierarchy or bureaucracy that I have to go through and get approval for an employee. I don't have to go through a bunch of interview processes if I don't want to. I can stand up and walk out of an interview if I just want to and I don't like the person. I can just say, hey, this isn't going to work out. I appreciate your time. Thank you. And just not waste any more of our time. And I can give them direct feedback, hey, this isn't going to work out because you actually just don't have hustle in your veins. You're looking to just come and kind of piggyback off my coattails. And I need somebody who's going to help me grow and scale and push this business to the next level. And I don't want to babysit you to do it because I hate being micromanaged. I don't want to have to micromanage you. The last one, or the next ones, I guess, one of them is on taxes. You get deductions and write-offs on this. So, I have a profit and loss statement that I have. That we make every single month, every quarter, every year. And at the end of the year, if I've made a ton of profit and I don't want to pay a bunch in taxes, I can purchase things that help move the business forward. I can purchase new equipment. I can purchase a new laptop, new monitors, a desktop. I can purchase a new camera. I can purchase things. I can't tell you exactly what you can and can't purchase. I'm not my accountant. My accountant tells me what I can and cannot do. But there's a lot of benefits to that because you'll still report that you've made this massive profit or loss, because on your taxes and things, if you're going to buy a home, which I'm going to be doing again, I have to file taxes, and they'll take away all my deductions and write-offs, and they'll see what I actually made, and they'll go, oh, that could have been his income. So that's kind of like the takeaway there. So you're making all the money of the business, but you get to write off and take deductions on certain things, and that helps. That helps on your taxes. You pay less out in taxes, but you also report that you have like high income. And then there's two more that I want to speak on in terms of like the pros that I have. Number one is if you make it to be successful, you can make an absolute great living on your own terms. So like I said, you get to choose the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how. And if you make it, you can make a great living on whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter what you choose to go into. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like what industry, market, whatever segment that you want to serve. If you become successful and you have one that hits, you're probably going to make a great living. And you'll make the great living probably once it hits, you'll make the great living faster than you would if you would work up a company for 20 years. And then the last thing is that if you become successful and you find out what works and you're able to get it to scale, you can have a liquidity event someday where you sell off a part of the company or you sell off the entire company or whatever, and you can basically cash out and then still have a cash flow coming in from the company, or you can cash out completely and you can invest it somewhere in like a dividend stock portfolio or something like this. You'd have to speak with your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But you can maintain a very healthy income and still have your nest egg that you just sold your company for. And you'll have it forever. You can find ways of like getting cash flow from just the money then. So those are the big pros. You know, you get to kind of do everything that you want to. You get to do it how you want to do it, when you want to do it, where you want to do it, and on your own terms. And you get a ton of incentives to do it. But the cons are, it's incredibly stressful. If we're talking cons, when you first start a company, you can do it part-time. But when you split your focus, you're not going to be as successful as you would be had you not split your focus. When I was first starting out and I was doing like online digital media and I was splitting my focus between my sales job and then like running advertisements and paid advertising, I wasn't getting the full results that I could have because I wasn't also going out and doing I wasn't making organic content. I wasn't doing really anything other than running paid advertising. And when it's a pay-to-play world, you have to stay doing it forever. So you're not going to get as much as you would have had you just made content and blasted it out or tried to blast it out to people. Let's see. It's incredibly stressful when you're first starting out and you haven't made it yet. Cash is tight. Cash is tight always. Cash is still tight. But when you're first starting out and you don't have any customers yet and you're not even a proof of concept yet, to where you could go out and scale it through leverage, you're incredibly stressed out. You're incredibly worried. You're going, oh no, did I choose the wrong thing? Did I make the wrong choice? Should I have stayed at my job? Like I could have been doing, I could have been making 60, 40, 100 grand a year right now. Instead I'm making zero and I have no benefits, or I'm paying out for benefits and my expenses are here now because I don't have benefits anymore and I still have all the expenses that I did have and I just added on more and now my income's down here. And basically you just have to work your freaking tail off to get here. So that's a con. It's incredibly stressful, and just it's absolutely stressful. The second part of that is it's not just stressful when you're not making any money. It becomes even more stressful when you start making money, and then you have to go, okay, crap, I have to set this side amount for taxes, or this amount aside for taxes, and then I got to pay myself this amount, and then I'm going to need this to fuel future growth, and you start having to be very, very good, very cautious, very cognizant of where your money's going and how much you're going to flow in and flow out, because then you're going to start investing in technologies, you're going to start investing in things to help you scale, and with that your expenses are going to go up again, and your income was just here, like you just made it above water, and then you increased your expenses to try and make it to that next level, so now you're back underwater again, but now you still have income and outflow. So these are things that are very stressful. Thirdly, let's see. I'm trying to think of more cons. it's just not consistent, you know? If you don't land some form of contract customer or something that's incredibly repeatable that you see that's going to repeat quickly, you're constantly on this hustle, um, and it's just not consistent. You're just trying to find and kind of like piece together where you're going to get your money from, so that you can just live and continue on to fight another day. So there's just the main con is that it's incredibly stressful, is what I would say. Incredibly stressful in terms of finances, on your health, on your mental health, because you're gonna sit there and be like, I need to be working right now. I need to try to move this forward. On your physical health, it can be very stressful, especially if you stop exercising while you do things. If you do not exercise, you don't give your mind a rest or anything else, you're just going to implode, and then your business is going to fail because you are your business right now. When you're first starting it and you're the only one that works in it, you are your business. So how you're doing mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, whatever, that's how your business is also doing. Your business is a direct reflection of you. So you have to be ready to do what it takes to become successful. And if you're not, then I wouldn't get into this world. But if you are, you will feel absolutely incredibly rewarded, and you will love the freedom that you have in your life. So mull those things over, think about those things deeply. I hope that you can find your correct answers, and if you do get the joy of experiencing what this life can be like and the freedom that you can have, all the success to you. I wish you every success in the world. Take care.